Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jump and lock it, surf it, scroll it, pose it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, start, format it. Technologic, 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 technologic.
My first computer was in 1981. It was a TRS-80 Model 3 with 16K of RAM, no hard drive, no floppy, just a cassette tape to load programs.
When I started my first job out of college, I didn't really know how to turn the computer on.
I mean, hell, even when I grew up, there was no internet. You know, it's crazy. There's no internet. It's like saying, oh, there was no radio back in my time. It's like, no, there's no internet.
It was probably 94, 95, whenever Mosaic, the first Mosaic browser came out. And I saw the browser and I saw how FTP and all the other services I was used to using on the internet were now point and click. And one of the few times in my life I understood this changes the entire game.
I'm Skip Bronke, and I'm a contractor for several companies that integrate themselves into Facebook and Facebook Connect, and more or less just freelance work with cyberspace, media, film, and television. One of the neat things about the internet right now is that it's incredibly unpredictable, and that we really don't know what is going to happen the more people like become connected to each other. And I think that's the one thing that we can say is that's going to happen. More and more people are going to get online.
Outside of being in a room with people, I prefer to use the internet to communicate 80% of the time.
Before, without the internet, we're all just separate entities. We really have no ability to really globally communicate. And this is something that's drastically going to change the entire world. If we were to think about social technologies that we see on the internet, Facebook, MySpace, the interesting thing about them is what they're really doing is allowing people to connect and organize in ways they couldn't organize before. The internet is something every single person can have. And it's even more revolutionary than the cell phone, because the cell phone is still a one-to-one device. This is both a broadcast device and a connected device for person to person. So it's really something that we should all have a right to around the world. And once that happens, then we'll see what happens with society in general. It'll be a different story.
I started playing the flute in the 4th grade with my public school music program in Seattle. And I learned 2 notes in 2 weeks, and I wanted to learn more, so I got my mom to buy me some flute lessons. And I've been avidly playing ever since. It's been over 21 years. Couldn't have been even a month after the Inspector Gadget had been up. It was featured on the main page, and it got like 1 million views in like a couple days or something. But I wasn't trying to like put these videos up to like get all these views or start a scene or anything like that. It was more like I just wanted a business card online, you know, like here, type my name in and see what it is that I actually do, because no one gets it when you're telling me beatbox on the flute. One day I'm like, oh look, so, you know, a couple hundred people have looked at my videos, and then all of a sudden thousands had, and they all want to talk to me and get in touch with me.
As people become more and more familiar with like YouTube and like what's actually happening when you put a photo online, and as there's more of a dialogue around maybe the rights, but also the exceptions to the rights of people's work online, Creative Commons is going to be seen as kind of as an alternate, and hopefully the main resort to the standard like sue everyone copyright model.
I'm doing it my way.
The These are the ideas that we need to marry to technology, and as artists, it's especially important.
It provides the tools for people to have access to the sum of all human knowledge for free in a very easy way.
And so you work in the digital arena as an artist. Things are faster, they have larger libraries that you can pull from. I mean, the sort of resource base is vastly different than it would be if you're working with analog media.
I think we were seeing a lot of really ambitious, fantastic uptakes in Creative Commons licenses, like Obama just chose it for change.gov.
Yeah, I take really simple data about traffic, loyalty, new versus returning, and I compare them. And from there, it's just a little bit of intuition.
As Jimmy Wales likes to say, if somebody would have described to you what Wikipedia was a couple of years before it started and sold it to you as a business model, you would have thought they were totally crazy. And you know, even now, even though Wikipedia doesn't have a business model, for better or for worse, it's a highly functional community that requires very little overhead cost. And I think we're going to continue to see things like that.
They're not turning profits. They really aren't. Even Facebook. We have a good amount of revenue, but we're still in the red. And the whole idea of it is we're actually the only company in Silicon Valley right now that's spending more money and, you know, actually trying to grow and hiring more employees. The only company in the entire valley. And the reason we're doing it is because now is the time to continue to grow. And so I think the idea behind social technologies is to grow first. Get as many users as possible first, and then worry about monetizing that later.
Everyone's trying to value the internet. So like right now, I'm in the online marketing space. So full time I do pay-per-click advertising. So that's where you're reading an article and those text links that come up next to an article, I sell those text links.
Because you see, we still are applying the same sort of market principles that worked in what we used to even bother calling a bricks and mortar marketplace. And now no one even thinks about the bricks and mortar. I mean, there are comparisons, but generally that model doesn't even qualify half the time.
There's always going to be a need for ad space. Like, that's what it comes down to. Like, there's always going to be a need for advertising. It's just that it's shifting.
We still don't really comprehend what the internet will do for culture and society, and you know, very early on, a lot of people saw the internet as a discrete jurisdictional unit and actually argued for the internet existing outside of, you know, jurisdictional law of countries, and that's a very interesting. You know, people are writing constitutions for cyberspace and stuff. Like it's a very romantic ideal.
I think our society has adapted in fits and starts. I don't think that our society has really adapted itself to the natural rhythms found in the internet.
Right now, there are definite problems with control of the internet, and it's going to be a constant battle between companies like Google and Facebook and Apple competing with nations and their own, you know, community rules that they're trying to enforce on their own citizens.
In a way, this freedom that we've been promised is probably being recorded in numerous ways that we're unaware of.
I think one of the problems we still have is that we don't understand it as a public space, and we don't understand it enough for it to really be a public space.
I think it's just starting, and I think some of those crazy utopian views are still possible.
The more people the internet is available to, that's the greatest thing right there.
I flourished because of this technology.
At the end of it all, it's just about doing what you love and, you know, just rolling with the times, you know.
There's probably an infinite amount of space for ambitious collaborative projects.
Well, we unleash these tools on the world, and they have an impact, and they should at least be thinking about what impact those tools might be having.
Binary solo.
0 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 1.
Come on, Sacro, lake my battery.